Welcome back to another travel video, and today I'm going to be showing you everything you need to know to travel Amsterdam in 2021. From current restrictions, which are subject to change, where to stay, how to get around, what to do, where to eat, and if you stick around until the very end, some exclusive local recommendations from some of my Dutch friends. My name is Kyle, and on this channel I make weekly travel videos ranging from guides, tips, tricks, and even some crazy spontaneous challenges. So if you're into that type of thing, hit that subscribe button and join me on this crazy adventure. Amsterdam is one of my favorite cities in the world, the bike capital of the world. And I'll also be consulting with some of my local Dutch friends throughout the making of this video to make sure this guide has everything you'll need before embarking on your next adventure. Now without further ado, let's get into the video. When choosing your accommodation in Amsterdam, you should do your best to stay within the city center, or more specifically, within the canal belt. This will put you within a 30-minute walking distance of anywhere in the city, or an even shorter bike ride if you do choose to pick one up during your stay, which I definitely recommend if you know how to ride one. Unfortunately, accommodation in this area can be rather expensive, whether it be hotel, Airbnb, hostel. This is a high demand area. But thankfully, due to our current situation and there being about half as many tourists as there normally are, you should be able to find a private room for under $100 a night. The best way to get around in Amsterdam is definitely to get yourself a bike. You can get anywhere in the city in about 10 to 15 minutes maximum if you're going from one end to the other. If you want to see a video on the best way to get yourself a bike in Amsterdam, definitely let me know down in the comments below, because there's a few different ways, some a little more sketchy and some more legit. Or you could always just walk. Amsterdam is super walkable. You can walk from one end of the city to the other in about 45 minutes. Combined with an amazing public transportation system, you will never be left stranded in the middle of the night wondering how you're going to get home. If you do know how to ride a scooter, you could also rent one using an app such as Felix or Check, which offer a per minute scooter rental. Just make sure you know how to ride one of these things though, because they do go up to 45 kilometers per hour, and the last thing we need in this city is more accidents. Uber also works great, so I would highly advise against renting a car because it is hectic to drive in the city. Although, if you really need one, there's an app called Sixt, which offers a per minute car rental service. Or if you're planning on trekking out to the Dutch countryside, definitely pick yourself up a car through a more long-term rental facility. The Dutch are known for a lot of things, but food is definitely not one of them. While there's a few local specialties you should definitely try, such as the stroopwafel, which is a caramel-covered waffle, the bitterballen, which are fried balls of meat, normally beef, as well as pancakes and cheese. You'll also have to check out a fabo while you're here. It's a retro vending machine style fast food concept exclusive to the Netherlands, perfect after a drunk night out. Besides trying these specialties, the Dutch also have a very wide selection of foreign cuisine. From American, Asian, French, you name it, they've got it. Now that we've talked about where to stay, how to get around, and what to eat, let's talk about what to do during the in-between. No matter what you're into, the Dutch will have you covered. If you're a museum goer, make sure to check out the Anne Frank House. Located right inside the canal belt, it's the historic site that Anne Frank hid throughout the Nazi occupation of Holland. Just make sure to keep in mind that this is not a happy-go-lucky place like some of the other things on this list, and should definitely be attended with a clear and open mind. If you still haven't had your museum fix, you can check out the Rijks and Van Gogh Museum right outside of the canal belt. They're right around the corner from each other, so you can knock them both out in the same day. Just make sure if you want to attend any of these to book your tickets in advance, otherwise you won't be able to get in if you don't have a reservation. This could definitely change for the Van Gogh and Rijks Museum in the future, but the Anne Frank House has required a reservation to get in for a few years now. Make sure to check out a free walking tour while you're here. While there is a decrease in tours due to a decrease in tourism, that's why now, in 2021, is the perfect time to check out this beautiful city and learn all about the beautiful architecture you see behind me. Make sure to check out the infamous Dam Square, which is actually where the tour company I recommend starts out their tours, New Europe Sandman Tour, which I've taken a few in different European cities, and they are always very informative and with a fun group of people. If you're bold enough to wake up before 9 a.m., you can even catch Dam Square empty of tourists, which is one of the most beautiful times to go. Once you finish up at the Rijks and Van Gogh, make your way around the corner to Vondel Park, where I'm at now. One of the most famous parks in Amsterdam. You can find people running, walking, or biking, checking out the scenic views. It's also an amazing place to people watch, so bring a few beers, bottle of wine, and enjoy the day checking out the views. If you're a beer lover, you're definitely going to want to check out the Heineken Experience. Located right outside the Canal Belt, it's the perfect place to learn all about how Heineken is made and the history behind it. Plus, they'll give you 2 tokens, each redeemable for a free beer. Make sure to save one of them for the end because they have a beer pouring contest to see who can pour the perfect Heineken. Once the night rolls around, you're definitely going to want to get yourself on a canal cruise, with some glasses of wine, of course. From the beautiful European architecture, the cobblestone streets, or the way the golden sunlight reflects off the buildings around you, you're surely not going to be disappointed. And you could join a public cruise for about $20 to $30 a person. But if you really want to step up your game, contact Pop. He's a private tour operator based out of the Netherlands who does private canal cruises for under $100, which is an amazing deal. Plus, tell him Kyle sent you and get a free receipt with every purchase. This is the perfect segue into an amazing date night, where I'm sure afterwards you're going to want to hit some bars and coffee shops. They don't sell coffee. Just keep in mind that these establishments are required to close at midnight with the current restrictions due to our current situation. I'd recommend doing some bar hopping or cafe hopping somewhere around the city center area. There's tons of places, so you surely will not run out of things to do. Now let's talk about what you should definitely avoid while you're in Amsterdam, because there's a few very important notes. First of all, do not walk in these bike lanes under any circumstances. The whole city was constructed with bikes in mind, and the bike lanes are meant for bikes. There are beautiful sidewalks all throughout the city that you can walk on whenever you want and enjoy the beautiful architecture around you. If you choose to walk in the bike lanes, you will get hit by a bike. Also, make sure when you're crossing from one end of the sidewalk to the other, you look both ways. Otherwise, you will get hit by a bike. Next, if you do choose to pick up a bike during your stay, make sure you have a basic understanding on how to ride a bike. You don't need to be an expert by any means, but make sure you at least have the basic skills to stay within half of your lane, because the locals who go crazy fast will be passing you on the left. Finally, make sure to keep in mind that people live here too, and they live in the center. It's not an adult Disneyland, as some tourists refer to it as. And the locals definitely do not appreciate when there are tourists throwing up, pissing right outside their doorsteps. For this next part, I asked a few of my Dutch local friends where they would recommend going to get a true local experience. If you want to check out Amsterdam Center version 2, definitely come out to the Pipe. This is where most of the Dutch locals actually live, since it's just right outside the madness of the Canal Belt. Just walking around, you can find a variety of cafes, restaurants, bars, and even parks. Plus, if you come during the day, you can check out this flea market that I'm in right now, where there's great deals on a variety of anything miscellaneous you would need throughout your trip. Next, you're gonna wanna come check out the Food Holland. Located right outside of the Canal Belt, it's a retro local spot that features a variety of bars and restaurants. So no matter what you're in the mood for, they'll have an option for you. They even have a contactless ordering system where you just scan a QR code on your phone and they bring the food right to you. Now, you should be able to navigate the craziness of Amsterdam without running into too much trouble. Just remember to stay out of the bike lanes and don't go too crazy, and you should be just fine. If you guys gained any value from this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join me on our next adventure. And if you have any suggestions of your own, make sure to let the community know down in the comments. I will see you guys next week.